Hi guys, let's hear something horror from us.
In the Grimm's fairy tales, there is a particularly despicable story. A poor, untrustworthy spinner became a queen. But the helpful dwarf who saved her died in anger. What is the real truth behind the story? It all started with a boastful miller. He spent most of his time bragging about himself. He claimed no one could grind flour finer than he could. Later, he married a wife and had a daughter. He would tell everyone, "My daughter is the most beautiful and intelligent girl in the land," until one day, a royal servant went out shopping. He overheard the miller bragging about his daughter. "You know, my daughter is the most beautiful girl in the land. Not only is she smart, she can spin straw into gold." How could that be possible? Everyone thought he was lying. But the miller insisted. "I swear it's true." The servant silently walked away. Their king was obsessed with gold. So, when the servant returned to the palace, he reported everything the miller had said. The king knew right away that the miller was boasting. But he decided to teach the fool a lesson. Soon, the guards captured the miller's daughter. The poor girl was locked in a high tower. Inside were a bundle of straw and a spinning wheel. The king commanded the girl, "By sunrise, you must spin this straw into gold, or your father will be thrown into prison." But the girl couldn't do it. She was just an ordinary spinner. As she sighed in despair, an ugly dwarf suddenly appeared. He said he could help her, but she had to give him a reward. "Your bracelet looks nice," he said. "Give it to me." Without thinking, the girl agreed. With the bracelet in hand, the dwarf began his work. The entire room turned golden. The girl couldn't believe her eyes. He had really done it. She watched as the bundle of straw became gold. "Thank you. Thank you for saving my family," she said. "Don't mention it. I'm happy to help," said the dwarf. The girl was too happy to notice the sinister look in the dwarf's eyes. The next morning, the king opened the door to the tower. He was stunned by what he saw. The girl was sound asleep on golden threads. How is this possible? He had already prepared to punish the whole family, but the sight of all that gold dazzled him. "If that's the case, then I want even more gold. Lock her up again." So the girl remained imprisoned in the tower. That night, the king brought even more straw. "You must spin all of this into gold by sunrise. Otherwise, your entire family will be in prison." The girl was filled with despair. "What should I do now? Where can I find that little dwarf again?" As soon as she spoke, the dwarf appeared out of thin air. "I knew you would run into trouble again. Don't worry, I'll help you. But what will you give me this time?" This time, the girl reluctantly handed over her mother's ring. Though it pained her, she had no other choice. So the dwarf began working again. The spinning wheel spun and spun. The entire room turned golden once more. After finishing his work, the dwarf disappeared. The king was so mesmerized by the gold that he lost his mind. He decided not to release the girl until he became the richest king in the world. On the third night, the king brought every piece of straw he could find. If you can spin all of this into gold by sunrise, I will marry you and make you my queen. If you fail, you'll be locked in this room forever, until you die. The girl burst into tears of despair. Why must I go through all of this? The dwarf offered to help again, but she had nothing left to offer him. It doesn't matter, the dwarf said. When you become queen, you'll have everything. With no other way out, the girl agreed. And he said, yes, right away, anything you want. The dwarf smiled wickedly, but the golden glow hid his evil plans. The gold covered every corner of the room. The spinning wheel spun all night long. Finally, just before sunrise, all the straw had been spun into gold. The girl was finally saved. She thanked the dwarf profusely, tears streaming down her face. But just then, the dwarf revealed his true intentions. I want the first child you bear after your marriage. It turned out he was an evil monster all along. His original plan was to take the child. This is impossible. The girl cried. She tried to refuse, but the monster gave her no chance to say no. The next moment, the tower doors swung open. The man who entered was now the richest king in the world. The girl dared not defy him. She married him and became the queen. A year quickly passed. The queen gave birth to a beautiful baby prince. The monster returned as promised to claim his reward. The young queen was terrified. This can't happen. You can take my crown, my palace, everything I own. But I can't let you take my child. You want to break your promise. You don't have the power to do that. Unless you can guess my name. A monster's name holds the secret to breaking their magic. But unless told willingly, humans can never discover their names. To mock the queen, the monster gave her 3 days. Guess as many times as you like within 3 days. But if you fail, you must give me the baby prince, a child born after 10 months, a precious life. How could a mother bear to part with it? She could never give him away. To protect her baby, the queen spent the next 2 days searching through every name in the world. She didn't sleep, guessing from sunrise to sunset. But no matter what she tried, she couldn't guess his name. Only one night remained. The queen was exhausted. Is there really no way out? Just then, a guard returned from his mission. The previous night, he had passed through a forest. He saw a strange little man dancing around a campfire. Dancing. He was singing the same rhyme over and over. Soon I'll have a little baby. And then I'll cook him and eat him. Yes, yes, you've lost. Because my name is Rumpelstiltskin. On the third night, The monster returned, but the young queen was ready for him. Come on. Guess my name one last time. Is it John, George, or Steve? Give up, Queen. Just hand over the child to me. Well then, is your name Rumpelstiltskin? Isn't it? The queen finally said the correct name. The monster was utterly defeated. He flew into a rage, stomping his feet furiously. In his anger, his magic spiraled out of control. The ground cracked open into a bottomless pit. He fell into the chasm and died. The monster was never seen again. The queen kept her child safe and lived the rest of her life in peace. This story about Rumpelstiltskin is a satire of greedy and cruel nobles and opportunistic merchants who accumulate wealth by exploiting the poor. In the late Middle Ages in Europe, people had to sell themselves and their descendants to survive, or to curry favor with the powerful. Rumpelstiltskin represents the dishonest merchants who preyed on people in desperate situations, forcing them to give up what was most precious to them. This trade was unfair from the very beginning. The miller, the king, and Rumpelstiltskin were all oppressors. In the end, they learned an important lesson. Living an honest life is better than anything else.